Uh, can you hear me? I'm Junaid and I'm Audrey's friend, and that's what we need to know, right?
Well, you need to know what you do.
Okay, I teach economics at McEwen and at the UFA as well. So if you have kids who do undergrad economics, I'm probably one of their instructors. Okay, all right, good. So Audrey asked me to have this vigil for peace, so I composed some words here. Last summer, we lost many tender lives of little girls and boys in Gaza. Israeli supporters blamed Hamas for firing rockets indiscriminately and for intentionally placing them near schools. Palestinian supporters blamed Zionists for reckless, senseless violence in the context of occupation and apartheid. Both Hamas and Israel declared victory. So here we were, quibbling over moral high ground, the price of which was borne by little flowers. A great crime had been committed, for both the Quran and the Talmud confirm that he who takes one life is as if he has killed all humanity. An even greater horror was the reluctance to bear any responsibility for that crime. It seemed as if the custom of child sacrifice for one's political ideology was revived. Long after the barbaric practice of child sacrifice, which was ended through Abraham with the binding of Isaac or Ismail, as you know. So I do not speak for Jews or Israelis. I do not speak for the Arabs, let alone Palestinians. I do not pretend to have solutions, and I offer no slogans to chant. Nor do I offer words of comfort. But I do know people who have been to the Holy Land. People who report of a dehumanized people. Fishermen prevented from their own waters. Farmers from their own lands. Students from traveling. People who witness forced childbirth at checkpoints. Restricted electricity and water. Destruction of homes and hospitals. Schools and mosques. Farms and orchards. People who observe all that as occupation and apartheid. I speak as an outsider, one who values the teaching that being neutral is siding with oppression, as someone whose faith has been mangled beyond recognition. I reflect on the Quran when it commands to stand by justice, even if we have to go against our own people. I witness the perfect embodiment of this teaching in my friend Paula Kerman, for whom the overriding principle is that of Tikkun Olam. I hope I pronounce it fine. Which means healing the world. So for her it is Tikkun Olam, and for me it is the Prophet saying that keeping good relations with people is better than all the praying, fasting and charity. The Persian mystic Sadi echoed, to comfort a single heart by a single kind act is better than 1,000 head bowings in prayer. So I question that when people view Hamas as resistance fighters against oppression and downplay the harm of their pathetic rockets, how can they justify projecting endless rockets that fall on a civilian population? How can they square that with the teaching that the Muslim is one who does not respond in kind even if he is immensely oppressed? How can they celebrate victory and distribute sweets when so many lives were irreparably destroyed last summer? Resistance fighters fight for the sake of their family, children, and loved ones. But here, it is they who become fodder for a nihilistic theocracy. I question if Muslim governments are really concerned about Palestinians, or do they use them as pawns in a game of thrones? I also question that when we come out to lambast Israel, are we equally vocal on the utter disregard of human life of Ahmadis in Pakistan, Baha'is in Iran, and the Kurds in the Middle East? I question the freezing silence on the Saudi devastation of Yemen as we speak. With such alienation and fragmentation based on ideology and religion, we cannot have peace. Zionism was about a safe haven against centuries of persecution and pogroms. Yet, Palestinians know Zionism as oppression, dispossession, and apartheid. Islam was about mercy unto the worlds, yet Israelis have witnessed an Islam of supremacism, death, and destruction. So I raise my voice against ancient texts that are used to dehumanize Jews. I reflect on the Quran, where Moses commands, "O my people, enter the holy land, which Allah has assigned unto you." Caliph Umar opened the holy land for our Jewish brothers and sisters. Umar also refused to pray in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, to avoid making the church into a mosque. The Prophet, upon whom be peace, admonished Muslims to defend Jews and Christians, both people of the book, until Judgment Day. Pristine, pure Islam holds both Jews and Christians close to Muslim hearts. Rabbi Mocharik and the Christian Emperor Negus remain the friends of the Prophet. The Jewish Lady Safiya and the Christian Maria remain mothers of the believers. And as such, heaven for Muslims lies beneath the feet of Jews and Christians. For our faith is incomplete without them. And with this in mind, I offer an outstretched hand in this vigil for peace, with the hope that someone would hold it in return.